America today exists in a state of war, a cold civil war. On one side is the woke regime. On the other side, our side, is the American regime. The woke regime defines justice as group outcome equality. For the American regime, on the other hand, justice is reward for individual merit. A regime based on merit will always give rise to group differences. These two regimes are utterly irreconcilable. You can't admit people to college or flight training or law school or anything else according to merit and at the same time according to group quotas. It's one or the other. There is no middle ground. Hence, the two sides are implacable enemies. This is what makes it a war. The woke left understands this. Too often, the American side, especially its political leadership, does not. You don't win a war if you don't know you're in one. The woke side fights. They show us no mercy. We, on the other hand, wring our hands and take a beating. We try to reach across the aisle. But in a war, this is a sucker's game. The woke regime is comprised of a loose confederation of our most important institutions: media, academia, government, charitable foundations, and corporations, particularly big tech. The George Floyd riots showed this confederation in action. Woke agitators sparked the flame that lit the riots. The regime's intellectual leaders justified the riots. Its corporate donors gave billions to Black Lives Matter's network. Its media looked the other way. Its justice system freed criminals, and its security apparatus and political leaders fanned the flames. No, not all Democrats are woke leftists, but virtually all Democrats go along, so they might as well be woke leftists. The woke regime is an incipient or soft totalitarianism that seeks to control all aspects of public and private life. Those who dissent from the woke regime are treated as enemies of the state. Dissenters are canceled, sometimes even fired, or denied financial services or legal representation. Law-abiding citizens are intimidated by violent mobs. The FBI targets Trump voters. The military is more concerned about skin color and gender identity than national defense. The woke leftists rewrite our history, making it a story of oppression and nonstop racism. Instead of teaching our children to love and cherish their country, the woke left is teaching them to disdain it. At times, we must ask our young men to die for their country. But why would anyone die for a country that is worthy of disdain? The woke leftists make war on the traditional mother-father family and religion and the healthy values they nurture. They encourage climate alarmism and manufacture foreign energy dependence. This is not so much about concern for the environment. It's about destroying the American way of life. They usher in millions of illegal immigrants that have cultures different from our own. This, too, is about destroying America, either by design or supreme indifference. Whatever the case, the woke leftists are paving the way for the woke regime. Like all totalitarian regimes, the woke regime has a dominant narrative. America is systemically racist. We must rebut this charge forcibly and often. Otherwise, we will surrender the keys to the castle. This charge of racism is nonsense. Racism has been falling like a rock over the past 60 years. But the less racism there actually is, the more the woke leftists insist they see. Yes, we have sinned, but show me a country that hasn't. The fact is, America is as good as it gets. The woke regime also tells us that white supremacists are the most dangerous terrorist group in America. This is more nonsense. I don't know a single white supremacist in a position of power anywhere in America. Do you? The major institutions in America, most notably the corrupt social and mainstream media, in cahoots with the equally corrupt deep state, toppled President Trump. This was the coup, which was covered up by the media and is still being covered up. True to form, the woke regime has a scapegoat, white men. But the woke leftists are playing with fire. They should be very careful about dividing the country along racial lines. What is most terrifying about the woke left is its certainty. It believes it has perfect knowledge. This, they think, gives them the moral duty to crush white males and to terrorize their enemies, us. Our side knows there is no such thing as perfect knowledge. Still, we must fight with a commitment to America that is just as powerful as their commitment to woke tyranny. The only thing the woke leftists are good at is tearing things down. During the George Floyd riots, they began by tearing down Confederate statues. Consumed with rage, they couldn't stop. Jefferson, Douglas, and Lincoln soon followed. These heroes had to go because they are the best of us. We should not be surprised if someone tries to blow up Mount Rushmore. And as far-fetched as it may sound, one day the woke leftists may well, in their ignorance and indiscriminate rage, tear down the Statue of Liberty. Imagine a headless Statue of Liberty. Her torch has been ripped from her grasp. Her crown sits at the bottom of New York Harbor. The statue's grand base is overgrown with weeds and small trees. Graffiti defiles everything. Vines crawl up her body. They remind you of vipers encircling their prey. And the woke leftists cheer. Who will keep Lady Liberty upright and proud? Who will defend our country? We need a wartime president, someone to rally around. A war without a commander-in-chief is no war at all. There is a Lincoln or Churchill among us. There always is. But he or she must stand up. This is not the time for polling or focus groups. It's the time for someone to lead. Someone with the courage to stand alone. Someone of honorable ambition who will call the woke charge that we are racist what it is, rubbish. Someone who believes that America's traditional culture is exceptional and is committed to keeping it that way. Someone who will recall the great successes of our past and renew our belief that we are capable of still more. They will make us see that we are in a fight between freedom and slavery. A fight, as Lincoln told us, that is worth the last full measure of devotion. And this leader will be confident that the God who has never forsaken his almost chosen people will not do so now. A leader is necessary, but they will need our help. Everything we have. We must commit ourselves to defending our country. We must show the intellectual and civic courage of true Americans. The hour is getting late. Your country needs you now. I'm Tom Klingenstein. Join me. Join the fight. Thank you very much.